Welcome back to the CryptoLabs Passive Income YouTube channel. How to make thousands of dollars yield farming and make yield on yield. This may be one of the most important concepts to understand when it comes to concentrated liquidity or yield farming, or really just creating yields in the market. We're going to touch on impermanent loss. We're also going to talk about a correlation, and we're going to talk about yield on yield. I'm going to use ETH and ARB as an example. That's a pool I've been in for quite a while. So let's say I'm in ETH and ARB pools. Now I went on DeFi Llama here and I looked up a few. There's actually an ARB and ETH pool on Trader Joe that is doing over 1,000% right now with almost $2 million TVL. I'm guessing that percentage looks very high because of the increase in volume. Of course, ETFs got approved, which we've all been waiting for. And so if we've been in doing any yield farming, we wanted to be in really strongly correlated pairs because we knew the market was going to see a lot of green. Then you've got ARB ETH here on Beefy. That's actually through Trader Joe. You're doing 500% on Beefy, which they do take fees, by the way. And then you've got ARB Rept ETH on Uniswap at 452%. That is obviously on the ETH chain, which the fees are higher, but you can get into the same pool on the Arbitrum right on here. This is on Gamma, but they do have one on Uniswap as well. That's on the Arbitrum chain for very low fees. Point is, let's just say you're in an ARB and an ETH pool. Now, of course, we've been waiting to see this ETF approval, so you can see what happened over the last 7 days. ETH is up 15%. ARB is up around 8%-ish. My point is, if you go onto the correlation matrix, which when we're thinking impermanent loss, this is an important concept to understand, is because you can also see impermanent loss even if your bags have increased in value. So let's say you're in some farms and they've increased in value by, let's say, $100 or $200. You could still see impermanent loss if you compared it to what if you just held the tokens, what if you just held the tokens and you rode the price appreciation of tokens? If those tokens would be worth more than your pools are now worth, you've seen impermanent loss. You're not in the red, but you didn't make as much as you possibly could make. Let's say we're in a correlated pair. So as you can see, ETH and ARB have a 0.67 correlation. One is perfectly correlated over the last month. Over the last 7 days, that's 0.95. Meaning you could be, and this is just an example, of course, in an ARB ETH pool making 500, 600, 800% as of right now because of the increase in volume. Things are going crazy. So you're making 2% per day plus you probably made 6, 7, 8% on the increase in value of your pool. Now, ETH and ARB don't move perfectly. Like one is up 12%, one is up 8%. So you may have a little bit more ARB than ETH. You get the point. It's not going to be 50-50. But the point is, and we've done a video on this, is get into pools where you would hold either asset. You'd be happy with either asset and you see long-term potential. So there was a season where in the markets, I was in liquidity pools and they were losing value, but I was printing more of said tokens. Let's just say Bitcoin and ETH. And I'm printing Bitcoin and ETH. And the values are going down. I don't care because I'm long-term on both Bitcoin and ETH. And so I'm basically making free Bitcoin and ETH that I'm going to hold. Now the bull comes and you weren't making 0.3, 0.4% per day. You weren't making minus 0.2% per day. You've got to think long term. So if I can print, 10 or 15% more Bitcoin and ETH because of my pool, and then the prices go from 16, 17,000 to 40,000, 50,000, Bitcoin's going to be a $100,000 plus asset. Why people are still sitting on the sidelines blows my mind. I did a quick, I think, short or something on this, a reel or whatever they call it, of like, you don't have to be rich to invest, but you ain't going to get rich without investing. Let me know if anything is landing. Can we commit to investing? I don't care how little that is. I know some people who've been playing with a couple $100 and now they have a couple $1,000. When they haven't been able to save 4, 5, 8 grand in their life, now they have 8 grand, 10 grand. Some people are building 6-figure, 7-figure portfolios and they started with very little. Crypto and DeFi offer us that opportunity if we study this and take it seriously. People are still treating this like an ROI Dapp, where they're just clicking buttons and saying, oh, this is a scam, it doesn't work. It works if you take it seriously. You have to study this. You have to treat it like a business. And if we go half into this, then we're going to get half out of it, which is basically nothing. We got to take this seriously. But my point is there is so much money to make in this space. And especially if you're an investor, not a gambler. A lot of people are buying even blue chip assets and they're selling it. They don't know what they're doing. They're gambling. If you're long-term in this game, if you believe that Bitcoin is I believe it's a 250K asset, Ethereum is a 10K plus asset, then we're still early. How can we print this stuff? How can we build our bags without necessarily having to buy it? How can we have farms and what we call like mini little cash flowing businesses work for us to build our wealth? And that's the game we play. So study and even Google like impermanent loss calculator, study it, correlation matrix. And you want to get into pools strategically that are correlated, especially in a bullish market, because you're going to make yield on the returns. So the daily returns and the monthly returns that you're farming, you're going to make yield on price appreciation, and then you can sell for profit and you can get into whatever other investments that you're looking to get into, whatever that may be. Remember, you don't have to be rich to invest, but you ain't getting rich without investing. Start now, start today. That's my time. I'm going to make a quick one today because I've got a ton of client calls and a ton of stuff happening in the UIG. Do join us in the UIG. I will leave a link for it somewhere. Really worth checking out if you want to join pretty much DeFi and crypto's top community. We just brought on a new team member. His name is Maddie. Genius when it comes to TA, kind of market analysis, and just understanding some pretty complex strategies and making them as simple as possible so anyone can understand them. So our team has been growing. We've been committed to CryptoLabs for the last 2 years through the worst of the bear market. We were building every single day. And I'm really proud of that because we had a vision and it's like we practice what we preach. We've just been dollar cost averaging and yield farming through the whole thing, building our bags. And we are still early. So do check out the UIG. What I will do is I will leave some videos for you here and here and here and here for your viewing pleasures. If you're not ready for the UIG and you're looking for more education and really just mastering this topic, then obviously subscribe to the YouTube channel, check out some of the videos. And with that said, I'm going to get out of here. Appreciate you. Peace.